Howdy folks, and welcome to the first edition of Mining 101, and today we're going to be talking about the development mine cycle. Contrary to popular belief perpetuated by a certain game, the basic unit of mining is in fact not a cube. At its most simple, the mine cycle can be boiled down to drilling, blasting, and mucking. And in order to advance a drift, this cycle has to be repeated. In order to drill a round out, it first has to be mucked out, but in order to be mucked out, it first has to be shot. And in order for it to be shot, it has to be drilled. Repeat until mine is complete. In some mines, miners will do all of these steps themselves, and in that case we call it cycle mining. But in other mines, like the one I work at, miners are tasked with a specific step, such as mucking or drilling, and in that case we call it task mining. So to summarize, a task miner will drill or blast or muck, and a cycle miner will drill and blast and muck. And your average equipment for this mine cycle will be a drill, called a jumbo, because it's almost as big as your mom, a mucker, also called a loader, which basically looks like a squished front-end loader, and a powder truck to load the rounds. And all of these things range in size quite a bit depending on the size of the drift. For example, muckers could weigh anything from a couple tons to 50 to 60, and drills can range from something that's operated by hand to something that weighs almost as much as your mom. And each of these pieces of equipment will have their own video at some point. But there's more to the mine cycle than just drilling, blasting, and mucking, which is to say, in order to drill a round out, you need electricity, and you need water, and you need air. And most muckers run on diesel, so you've got to get rid of that exhaust somehow, so you need vent bag. And in order to load around, you want to make sure it's not underwater, so you're going to need to pump it out. Collectively, we call these utilities, and at least at the mine I work at, their installation and removal is its own crew. And generally speaking, they're going to be running around with either a scissor deck, or a front-end loader that has a basket on the front. But wait, there's more. After a round has been mucked out, you have a section of drift that is considered unsupported ground. Walking out into unsupported ground is considered a bad idea, so we've got to do something to rectify that. And to do that, we bring in another piece of equipment, called the bolter. Now at the mine I work at, the bolting is done with the jumbo, but generally speaking here in North America, the bolting is done with a dedicated bolter. But the bolter needs bolts, and also mats, and that again is somebody's job, generally referred to as a nipper. So as you can see, there's quite a bit that goes into taking just one round, and when you factor in you want to take multiple rounds in a shift, that's a lot of people and equipment to coordinate. Throw in mechanical, haulage, and electrical issues on top of that, when things go south, you could have a very bad day. In mining, we call this a clusterfuck. Now in all this, you might be wondering what piece of equipment I run. Most of my time has been spent on a loader, but I've done bits and pieces of pretty much all these things, though the main piece of equipment I'm running right now is your mom. Now don't worry, that's a joke, or is it? But in all seriousness, I'm actually running something called a long hole, and that'll be a subject for another video. In the meantime, tell your mom I said hi, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.